let me tell you, I started working out just so I could look good in clothes.
Okay.
Then I moved into the era where I want to look good even without clothes.
Okay.
Then I realized it got to a point where now, like when I'm in the gym, for me, it's where I fight my mental battles.
Yeah. There are a ton of things that you can do to shape your body and mental health and ensure that you look good. And this episode's guest knows a lot about your body and what covers it. David Ochola is a lifestyle influencer with over 10 years in the game and will tell you how to tone your body to look great and how to dress it to look even better.
I think the best form of fitness is the one that is most convenient for you.
Yeah.
If it is within your reach, you're most probably going to do it. As opposed to if it's, I have to leave my house and drive 10 kilometers away, you probably won't.
So do you actually need supplements when you're working out?
Need.
No. So why do you take them, or why do people take them? Having mastered the art of looking good both inside and out, David breaks down different fitness approaches, how to find the right one for you, and how to step out into the world feeling like you're on top of it. So what are the recovery methods that you would advise anybody to focus on, especially someone who's new into this or someone who's just beginning?
One of the things that I underrated for a very long time is the power of stretching. Stretching before and after.
Yeah.
So there's two types of stretches.
We also explore the fascinating science of sleep and how it can completely transform your health and performance, and why it's a game changer for your overall well-being.
Because when you don't sleep enough, there's a hormone called ghrelin. It is what is responsible for the feeling of hunger. When you don't sleep enough, it increases. So you'll find you've done 4 hours of sleep and you wake up feeling hungry.
Yeah.
Chances are you will eat more. But you see, when you sleep enough, that hormone is not there, or it's not as much as it would be, and you lose weight faster.
David brings such a refreshing energy to the show. His wisdom, laid-back vibe, and genuine passion makes this a must listen. Trust me, within minutes, you'll see exactly why he stands out. Listen in. What do you eat?
Yo, this is where this conversation falls apart. So what happened is, this Tuesday I went to the barber shop to cut my hair. Yeah.
Okay.
And I actually had forgotten about being hosted, but all things work together for good, no?
You went to the barber?
Yeah.
What hair, my friend?
Unajua akili sio nywele. I am walking proof. Okay, I'm kidding. But yeah, okay.
Oh man, this is David Ochola, the man with the hair who always visits the barber on Tuesday. Oh man, David, I always look at your Instagram, man. Your Instagram, you always clean shaven on Instagram.
Yeah.
So I mean, and you're on Instagram every week. So what are you going to do at the barber? You know, funny thing.
Yeah.
The last time I went to a barber to cut my hair was during my wedding in 2019.
No way. So you cut your hair at home?
I cut my hair at home.
Oh, must
and
be
before
nice.
that,
well, it must be nice having a wife.
I actually did myself.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
budget ni tight.
Of course, budget ni tight myself. You know, a haircut is like $60.
Really?
Yeah. I have friends who do haircuts every week.
Yeah, that's pricey.
Yeah. So me, I'm a simple guy, man. I love my hair.
Yeah.
So when I do a haircut, I try to fade it, but I can't fade it perfectly like at a barber. So I normally just fade it to make it look like I got a haircut maybe 3 weeks ago.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Like,
yeah. So it doesn't look like a clean or a new haircut ever.
Okay,
yeah, but it works.
So you keep your hair so you can have hair raising experiences.
You and your dad jokes.
I know. Are we going to get this started?
Oh man. What's up, folks? This is the Couch Connect. My name is Joab, and today I'm hanging out with David Ochola. That's the name you go by.
Yeah.
But you also go by the Wardrobe Chronicles.
Yes, Wardrobe Chronicles for sure. Yeah. What is AKA Wardrobe Chronicles.
Okay. Where did that name come from? Wardrobe Chronicles.
Well, that's an interesting one. So when I finished high school, one of the things people used to tell me is I dress well. Yeah. And for that reason, people used to think I'd end up being a lawyer or like in the media.
Actually, I always thought you were a lawyer for a long time.
Thanks.
Or in law school at least.
I don't know if I should take that as a compliment. Because, with the lies, lawyers and lies are,
No, it was with the dressing. It was the dressing.
Yeah, that's true. So, it was either or.
Yeah.
So I ended up in media. So one of the things I wanted to do was to start teaching guys how to dress well. So that's how it started.
Yeah.
So me and my sister were seated on our dining table, and we were brainstorming ideas on what to call my blog. And funny enough, there was a Bible there, and I was like, I talk about clothes and chronicles. So I was like, wardrobe, chronicles. So that's how that was born.
Damn, that came so naturally.
I know, right? So that's literally how the name came, Wardrobe Chronicles, because chronicles is more like times or yeah, or stories. So wardrobe stories, Wardrobe Chronicles. Yeah.
So David, I know that you're into fitness and fashion, but for someone who hasn't met David before, someone who doesn't know you, what would you say is the reason why you are so committed to fitness and fashion?
That's an interesting one as well. I feel like with the questions today, I have to dig deep.
Grab a hoe and dig.
Wow. So growing up, and I don't know if this is your experience as well, I was never like the cute boy or like the handsome dude or like like when you're adolescents, there's usually that guy who everyone wants, like every girl wants. I was never that,
me
ever. So I made peace with that. So I think inevitably I was like, if I don't think I'm that good looking, I could as well dress well.
Yeah.
And after starting this whole Wardrobe Chronicles thing, which was in 2014, I started eating really badly in USIU because that's where I went to school.
Yeah.
So nilikuwa nakula masala fries. And then I started getting out of shape. And I was like, I need to start going to the gym. I think I spoke about it from like 2016, 2017, 2018. Mpaka mabeshte wangu nilikuwa naambia, yo, I'll come to the gym with you. They were like, yo, bro, you talk about it an awful lot. And then in 2018, and I remember it was a Saturday, I was coming home and there was a new gym in the area. So I peeped and I'm like, oh, what are your rates? And they were like, this is how much we'll charge, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, I'll come tomorrow. Bro, I went back home and changed and went to the gym. The trainer was like, but you said tomorrow. I'm like, bro, I'm here now.
Let's get started.
Let's start. And since 2018 until now, I've been consistent.
You've been going every day?
It's not every day, but like within the first 2 years, it was like 7 days a week.
Damn.
Yeah. Then I was like, hey, yo, my joints can only take so much. So I cut it down to like 4 to 5 times a week now.
Okay. So you do 4 to 5 times a week now?
Yeah, I have barely taken a break. So to answer your question on like why I am so committed, it's because like I feel my best when I'm in shape and I'm well dressed. Because like, yo, bro, nothing beats dressing well and like you have a fit body, you're dressing well and you're stepping out and then your stuff, like whatever field you're in, bro, untouchable.
Confidence exudes all the confidence.
Untouchable. So yeah, that's literally how that started. Very naturally, organically.
Yeah, I like what you just said. You step out and you feel confident. That is so great.
And the thing is, a fit body is something money can't buy.
True.
You can be rich, but you can't buy a fit body.
Yeah. You got to do the work. Put in the work.
That's the thing. And I also think it's the same thing with style as well. Because, like, have you ever met rich people who outfits are kuna? Like, they buy super expensive stuff, but when they put them together, yeah. So I think it's also because those two things are things you can't buy with money. Yeah. So when you step out, I have something you can't buy.
I dress mostly in black because this is all I have in my closet.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Is that deliberate?
It is deliberate because I realized that it took me too much time to decide what to wear.
Okay.
And so I decided I'm going to get black V-neck t-shirts, and that's all I have in my closet. So I know if I wake up at 10 a.m. on a Monday morning and I have a meeting at 10:30,
it's
I'm
a
going to
black
black V-neck t-shirt.
Oh,
if I wake up at 6 a.m., it's a black V-neck t-shirt. And, it never takes time. But maybe you're going to tell me how much time you take to get ready, or step out with this confidence.
Yeah, funny enough, I usually feel like because I've done it for so long, it comes so naturally to me. So like, for example, with the dressing thing, before I even started teaching people how to dress online, I used to learn a lot because I used to read a lot of online blogs. At the time, blogs were such a huge thing.
Yeah.
And then YouTube came in, and then there was a big thing online where many men used to teach people how to dress.
Yeah.
So I really, really learned the art of dressing from that. Nowadays, I can pick an outfit with closed eyes.
Oh, okay.
Like that.
Comes like part of your muscle memory, I guess.
Yeah. And then even when it comes to buying clothes, I'm like, I know what works for me and what doesn't. Yeah. Like I know stripes that go across just don't look good on me.
Yeah.
But how many dudes know what works for them, Yeah. So I was like, I'll make it easier for you. That's why I started that.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about that today. Folks, if you're new to the show, this is the Couch Connect. Over here, I hang out with great folks like David here, and we talk about the science and art in everyday life experiences. So do subscribe to this channel and like this episode. And don't forget to tell your friend to tell their friends. And my promise to you is that I'm going to continue getting better at what I do. I'll learn to ask better questions. I'll research, the topics that we talk about here better so that you get your value for your subscription. And at the same time, I'll continue getting greater guests to sit with me on this couch. So, David, what does your typical workout routine look like? So you told me you do five days a week.
Yes. So my typical workout routine is 5 days a week. So push, pull legs, then I'll do pull, push.
Okay.
So
you're going to tell me what that is then. That is deep, man. You already gone in and I can't even understand what you're talking about. If you just realize, folks, this conversation today is going to be about, working out, so personal fitness and fashion. And David here is a fashion enthusiast, I'd say.
Yeah.
And a personal fitness guru.
Enthusiast as well.
Enthusiast
okay. As well, because I have trained people as well.
Okay.
Yeah, before.
Great.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go back to what you just told me here. This deep 3, 4, 5 words that you just mentioned here.
So when it comes to training splits, there's a couple of them. There's a bro split. So the bro split is where you train one muscle group a day. So chest, shoulders, arms, biceps maybe, triceps on a separate day, and then you'll have legs. Yeah, that's the bro split. I do the push-pull legs program. So on push day, I will do pushing muscles. On pull day, I'll do pulling muscles. And then on legs, I'll do legs.
Okay.
Like leg day. Yeah. So basically, push is chest, shoulders, triceps. And then pull is back and biceps.
Okay.
And then legs is just hammer the legs.
So push, pull, and legs.
Yes.
Great.
So I'll do push, pull, legs. And then push, pull. I won't do legs again.
Okay, so those are 5 days. So day 1 is push, day 2 is pull, day 3 is legs, and then you go back to push. Pull, and then rest.
Yes.
I guess.
Yes.
Okay. So you talked about muscle groups.
Yes.
So how many muscle groups are there?
Ooh.
Or whatever muscle groups that you work on. I know you've mentioned the back, you mentioned the chest and the arms. Generally, if I were to be working on these muscles, what muscle groups should I be aiming at targeting?
I think to begin with, especially when someone starts, just do compound exercises.
Okay.
So compound exercises are exercises that usually exercise a number of muscle groups at the same time. So like when you do bench presses, that will train your chest and your triceps. When you do deadlifts, that will train your posterior chain, that is your back and part of your legs. When you train, so there's usually bench, deadlifts, and there's one other one that I'm forgetting. Anyway, so the main muscle groups would be chest, back, and legs.
Okay.
And then, of course, there's core work, but core work is like just secondary, so to say.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so you talk about the chest, the back, the legs, and the arms.
Yes.
Okay.
But arms still get hammered, like when you train chest, your triceps, and when you train back, your biceps. Yeah.
Okay.
So basically, I think when it comes to training, like now, for example, for me, I'd just group them together. The pushing muscles, all the muscles that would ideally push things, I train them together.
Yeah.
Then the pulling muscles, anything that pulls stuff, and then legs. Yeah.
Okay. So when you are pushing, what exercises are you doing?
So on push day, we're typically talking about bench presses. We're talking about shoulder presses. We're talking about tricep push downs. We're talking about side raises, lateral raises for your shoulders. We're talking about chest flies. We're talking about hex presses, and yeah, basically that. So those really target mainly shoulders and your chest, different parts of your chest.
Yeah.
There's different exercises for those different muscle groups. So those are 4 pushing muscles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about the pull?
Now for the pull muscles, mainly it's back. So anything that has to do with your back is most probably going to be a pull day exercise.
Yeah.
And then biceps. Because like you see this motion, this is pulling.
Yeah.
That is pushing.
Yeah.
So anything that you push away from you is push. This is pull.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then for your legs, you would...
Now for your legs, it's a bit of both. Because you'll train, there's your quads, which is at the front.
Yeah.
There's your hammies, which is at the back. There's your glutes, which you sit on. And then there's your calves. Calves. And then there's your shin as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for leg day, you'll do both push and pull. Because like hamstring curls, for example, are a pulling exercise.
Yeah.
Then say squats are a pushing exercise.
Yeah.
Another example would be butt bridges, where you squeeze your butt. That is definitely a pushing exercise.
You squeeze your butt with your hands, or...
Oh no. You literally have to squeeze them from
from inside.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. That's fine.
No, this is what you did. You said you squeeze your butt. I was like, you squeeze.
Bro, it's because it literally feels like you literally squeeze.
Okay.
So you'd have a weight on top, and then you push the weight up, and as you push it up, you squeeze the butt.
Okay.
Yeah.
I see.
But many women would know about that.
Okay.
Then there's lunges for leg day. There's split squats, Bulgarian squats. You probably have seen memes about them. And many other exercises for leg day. Calf raises, which Africans definitely don't like because we don't have calves, apart from the ones that come from cows. Yeah. So basically there's very many different exercises for the different muscle groups. Yeah.
So do you get is it possible to get similar workouts at home versus going to the gym? So do you need equipment to do all these workouts, or is it possible to, work out at home and still get benefits on all the muscles?
The crazy thing is, for me, before I went to the gym to begin with, I actually worked out at home for like maybe 6 months. And within those 6 months, I lost maybe upwards of 6 kilos just from home workouts only.
Yeah.
You know, the way you see apps on online, oh, try these workouts. That's what I did. And as soon as I did that, I was like, if I can lose this much weight from home, I could probably do much better in a gym.
Yeah.
Because like a gym has equipment that is specifically for those things. So when it comes to some of those exercises, you could do them from home, probably not as intensely as you would in a gym. But yeah, you definitely can get somewhat similar results. Somewhat similar. Not exactly, but very close.
Okay.
Yeah. And I also think you can buy like equipment and use from home.
Yeah.
Especially for guys because I know there's people who don't like the whole anxiety that comes with being in a gym. I think there's a possibility of working out from home and getting results, like proper results. Especially once you master your body weight and using a lot of calisthenics. Now, calisthenics is a whole different conversation. Calisthenics is more body weight exercises.
Okay.
Purely body weight, nothing else. Yeah.
All right. So it seems like what you're talking about is you're mostly focused on strength training, right? What if I just want to focus on cardio?
I think it depends on your goals.
Yeah.
The thing
do you do cardio at all, first of all?
I do.
Okay. What do you do for cardio?
Just so you know, my friends who are seeing this, please don't embarrass me. I do cardio sometimes.
Okay.
And why I don't do cardio as often is I'm like you. I lose weight. I'm hoping I'm like you, because you lose weight quickly, no?
I don't know. I've been like this most of my life.
Yeah, so you struggle to put on weight, no?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So I'm like you. And that's one of the reasons I don't do cardio as often, because I'm those people who could jump on a treadmill and in 3 days I start losing weight, like visual weight. Like you will see it.
Yeah.
So, however, to answer the question, for cardio people, I think, again, it really comes down to your goals. I think if someone wants to lose weight and you just want to train your heart, you can do cardio. But you know, they usually say another way to train your heart is to fall in love in Nairobi.
Because of the
character development.
Yeah. You know, I was hanging out here with Elvis the other day, in front of the show, Elvis. His episode is probably going to come out either before yours or just after yours.
Okay.
And we were talking about character development in Nairobi, because he's written an article on character development in Nairobi. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's the best way to train your heart. One of the best ways to train your heart.
Yeah. Fall in love in Nairobi.
What would happen?
Your heart would learn how to endure many things.
Okay.
But that notwithstanding, there's different forms of cardio for sure.
Yeah.
So
I want us to go back there. Back to your heart in falling in love in Nairobi.
That's a whole conversation, bro. But
have you ever had any heartbreak in Nairobi?
Yeah, I've had my fair share.
Okay.
I've had my fair share.
Okay.
It's not the typical Nairobi stories you hear, because like, you know, right now it's wild. I feel like guys who like have to learn how to date right now, that's work. It's very different from like back in the day.
What's different now?
There's social media. I also think we've normalized like cheating, like a lot, like a lot. And you see, the thing is, the more you see something, the more it becomes like a norm to you.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's where we are at now. Oh, nani amegongewa?
Yeah.
It shouldn't be. Like, that's one of the things I look at. I'm like, that's tough. That's tough. Yeah.
So going back.
Cardio. There's different forms of cardio.
Yeah.
When people think cardio, they'll think about running. I'm like, running is just one of them. So there's the Stairmaster, there's running, of course, on the treadmill, there's jogging. Even when it comes to running, there's different ways to run to achieve different kinds of goals. There's short distance, there's long distance. So my favorite is the treadmill, followed by the bike.
Okay.
However, like if I had a choice, if I could do something for cardio every day, and when it comes to fitness, I keep telling people, if you don't like it, find something that you really, really love and enjoy doing. So like for me, it would be a sport.
Okay.
Because
like
I
soccer.
thoroughly enjoy soccer.
Okay.
Yeah. My knees give in fast, like real quick, but I really enjoy it.
When you give, why do you think your knees give in?
Oh, it's because like this weight I sit at is a bit new for my body.
Okay.
So like the more I play soccer, the more it gets used to it.
Okay.
And that will happen, especially when you put on muscle. Your body needs time to readjust to
the new weight,
like your new frame. So that's my favorite. Like if you can find a form of cardio you thoroughly enjoy, whether it's kickboxing, whether it's boxing, whether it's cycling, whether it's hiking, whether it's treadmill, whatever.
I enjoy walking. I walk for about 2 hours every day. Or so I scratch that. I would walk for 2 hours today, and then I'll jog for an hour the next day. So 10 kilometers of walking, 5 kilometers of walking today, which takes me 2 hours, and then 10 kilometers, which take me about an hour.
So like when you're walking, are you brisk walking, or are you like
I walk
just
very
walking
fast.
regular? Okay.
I walk really fast. Is that brisk walking?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I walk very fast. This morning I was walking, and as I was walking by, there's guys who were walking in front of me, actually jogging in front of me, and I realized I was walking faster than they were jogging.
Ooh.
That was interesting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then that is brisk walking. Yeah.
You talked about anxiety in the gym. Why would people get anxiety in the gym?
The other thing about our generation is, like, I'm sure this is not the first time you're hearing this, like, anxiety is such a big thing. And the more we are on social media, the more mental health is becoming a big thing. So, like, with gym anxiety, there's a whole, people will look at me, people are looking at me. I don't want to be around a crowd. I don't want to be, because our assumption usually is, if I go to a gym, it's most probable that everyone is fit. Yeah. So I'll look like the unfit one.
Yeah.
But when you train for long enough, you actually realize no one cares. Like, no one gives a damn.
Yeah.
Kuna mtu anafanya like their bicep curls over there. There's someone else doing their own bench presses over there, because everyone is just trying to improve for themselves. But like, for those of us who suffer from anxiety, especially around people, I think working out from home is legit. Yeah.
And would you suggest that people, I've had previously, a long time ago, I saw these apps that suggest workouts that you can do at home. Would you suggest that would be a good thing for someone to get into?
Okay. And I think it's better than nothing. I think it's better than nothing, because one of the reasons I used to procrastinate my fitness journey is because I used to feel like it was so inconvenient, because I had to transit to school. Then you get to school, there's a gym, you have to change clothes, then change back after you shower, then go to a class. I think the best form of fitness is the one that is most convenient for you.
Yeah.
If it is within your reach, you're most probably going to do it. As opposed to if it's, I have to leave my house and drive 10 kilometers away, you probably won't. Yeah.
A personal question for you here. Having talked about anxiety and, what that journey is like, when you start working out in the gym, you'd probably be, somewhere, but after working out for a while, you realize nobody really cares. So do you have a goal for why you're working out? Is it aesthetics? You talked about, the fact that, when you work out and you step out, you feel very confident. So how does that play into your, you working out? So do you work out for aesthetics? Do you work out for, becoming a better performer? Do you work out for overall health?
To begin with, let me tell you, I started working out just so I could look good in clothes.
Okay.
Then I moved into the era where I want to look good even without clothes.
Okay.
Then I realized it got to a point where now, like, when I'm in the gym, for me, it's where I fight my mental battles.
Yeah.
So for me, it's more mental health thing right now. And why that is the case is because I feel like the gym is the one place I have everything in control. Does that make sense? Like, when I pick up dumbbells, like, I own them. Like, I own that weight. So I feel like, because, like, outside in life in general, like, you're not in control. Like, things will happen. For example, people die, you lose friends, some friends backstab you. Like, you can't control other factors. But like, the gym is the one place you come and you feel like, okay, I can let out all my stress. That's one. And two, I can be in control. So I won't lie and say I'm not also doing it for the aesthetics. Because like, bro, I don't thoroughly enjoy it, but like, although the more I train, the more I feel like I don't enjoy wearing, like, revealing clothes anymore. There's a time you used to enjoy that. You'd show up anywhere with a very tight t-shirt, very tight pants, bro. It used to thrill me thoroughly. Nowadays I'm more of a double XL kind of guy.
Why do you think that happened?
I think you get to a point where I think it becomes more than just looking good. And then the vanity also fades away. Like, there's only so much attention you can get. And even if you're getting it the whole day, do you need attention for you to function? So I think for me, it's more, I'm good. I've achieved what I wanted. Like, although now the goalpost keeps shifting, because you get to the size you wanted, or you start looking like what you wanted, then you're like, I could do better.
So when you talk about, you have your goals, and then you look at what you wanted and you're going towards what you want, there's some progress here. So how do you track that progress?
Yeah, that's a good question, because many people usually think the only way to track progress is on the weighing scale.
Yeah.
And that's a lie. The thing is, you can gain weight and you can lose weight, but it's a wrong kind of weight, because basically the human body has fat, then you have muscle, and you have water weight, right? So you could work out for a week, maybe it's your first week, and you lose a lot of water weight, and you're like, oh yeah, I'm losing the fat. Nah, you're probably losing something else,
Yeah.
Or you could gain, and you think, hey, yeah, I'm growing muscle. It's probably fat or water weight.
Okay.
So one of the trackers, of course, is your weight, but that would help you to just know that you're losing weight. Another tracker is strength. If you are making progress when it comes to strength in the gym, chances are high you're doing something right. Another way to monitor your progress, of course, is to have like a proper scan, like a full body scan.
Yeah.
I think it's called a DEXA scan. And this one usually gives you full body composition, so that you know what is going where. Like, is my fat going up? Is my even if my body weight is going down, for example, my fat could be going up, or my muscle could be going up and my fat is going down. So I think those are the main ways to track progress.
Okay.
Of course, you can also like do measurements, because I see women do that a lot. Like, oh, my waist is not snatched. I'm like, it's probably not snatched for now, but if you did what you're doing for another 5 months, 6 months, 1 year, 3 years, 5 years, you'd see a lot of progress.
Yeah.
I also think people need to give themselves grace. You don't see progress in like 3 months, 6 months. 6 months maybe. A year, maybe people will start telling you, okay, you're like, there's something happening.
Yeah.
But by the time it's obvious, it's probably going to be 2, 3, 4, 5 years. Bro, I've trained for 6 years. This is my 7th.
Yeah.
And now is when guys look at me and they're like, you look like you're doing something. I've been doing something for 6 years, bro.
So previously, what did you look like?
Oh, I think I'll send you guys pictures as well, so that you can see. But I was really lanky. I was really small.
Yeah.
I usually say when
Would you be
people,
smaller than me?
Yeah, way smaller than you.
Okay.
Way smaller than you. You know, the way people usually say it with your chest. I couldn't do that.
Yeah.
You know why?
Because your chest was
I didn't have
nowhere.
a chest. Yeah,
Okay.
I was really skinny. Okay, not really skinny, but like I was small.
Yeah.
I was on the smaller end of things. Yeah, so I think just being consistent really came through. Eating right, training right, and sleeping. Sleeping enough. Yeah.
We're going to talk about eating,
Diet and
but
stuff.
let's talk about sleeping.
Yeah. Sleeping is critical, because that's when your body regenerates itself. Like, so say, for example, because people usually have the assumption that when you go to the gym, oh, that's when your muscles are built, your muscles are being built. No, that's when you tear it down.
Yeah.
Recovery, part of recovery is sleep. So ideally, if you have like a flexible schedule, I'd say 6 to 8 hours. In fact, 6 is on the lower side. I'd say 7 to 9.
Yeah.
7 to 9 hours, you'll see the best. Even when it comes to weight loss, people really underrate sleep. Because when you don't sleep enough, there's a hormone called, if I'm not wrong, called ghrelin. It is what is responsible for the feeling of hunger. When you don't sleep enough, it increases. So you'll find you've done 4 hours of sleep and you wake up feeling hungry.
Yeah.
Chances are you'll eat more. But you see, when you sleep enough, that hormone is not there, or it's not as much as it would be, and you lose weight faster.
Okay.
Because you don't get the feeling or the need to eat. So I think sleep is critical, even when it comes to like muscle recovery and regeneration.
Yeah.
Personally, on the days that I don't sleep enough, my recovery is slow.
What kind of dreams do you have when you're sleeping?
Yo, bro, when I sleep, I black out.
Do you ever remember your dreams?
I do.
Okay.
But the days when I remember my dreams are the days when I'm full.
Okay.
Like, have you ever gone to bed so full? You know, I don't know if you've seen these weird videos on Instagram when you dream on a full stomach, an alligator flying in the middle of a railway. Like some really weird things. But yeah,
those are crazy dreams, man.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You've never slept on a full stomach?
I've slept on a full stomach, but no alligator was flying in the middle of a rail for me.
What are your dreams like?
The craziest dream I've probably had is they're probably something to do with actually I can't remember.
Because like last week, I think I hadn't done leg day.
Yeah.
And I woke up dreaming about lunges. Like literally, in my dream, I was doing like, it was split squats actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. So sometimes it depends. But I rarely dream because I feel like, because I train at night, I train between like 7 and 9. By the time I get home, like I don't even think my subconscious is working. Everything just wants to shut down. So I black out.
You know, funny thing, research says that we have between 1,000 and 2,000 dreams a night.
Really?
Every night.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
How many of those do you remember though?
You rarely remember
From
any of your dreams. You mostly remember the dreams that are just before you wake up. Yeah,
Okay,
and most of the time those dreams feel like they've been going on for ages.
Yeah.
Sometimes those dreams go on for a minute, 30 seconds to a minute only. I mean, that's the longest dreams that you have. The ones that feel like they've been going on for like 6 months or something.
Like 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Yo, bro, that's interesting. I think the only dreams that I remember nowadays are the ones that keep me awake.
Yeah.
Like a G-Wagon, you know? like the goals I have, I think, I don't know. But like I often just black out imagine.
Yeah.
Like when I'm in bed, I'm like, lights out. And then I often don't just go to bed.
How long does it take you to sleep normally?
Quick.
Okay.
Barely 5 minutes. Barely 5 minutes.
It used to take me a short time to sleep. And then I realized that I was taking longer to sleep. So now what I do, and then I realized the problem was my phone. So now what I do, I leave my phone in the living room when I go sleeping.
Oh yeah? It makes such a huge difference.
Yep.
Because of the light?
No, because I would not be falling asleep and I just want to check out something on the phone. And then I decide to check out an email, and then that email leads me to a certain link. That link leads me to some web page. That web page leads me to some advert. Before you know it, you have ended up on Facebook and or Instagram or whatever.
Tell
from
me
those
you're
ads.
a millennial without telling me you're a millennial. When Facebook is your default go-to, bro.
Facebook is actually not my default
Just so
go-to.
you know you're old.
I know I'm old, man. I know I'm old. I was thinking about my age a few days ago, man. I was like, damn, time flies, man.
Like a thief in the night.
Yeah, so now what I do, I leave my phone in the living room, and I just don't touch it again until I wake up in the morning, and I actually have to walk to the living room to grab it. Because what used to happen is I used to wake up so early at like 4 in the morning. So I typically want my 8-hour sleep, so I'd go to bed at like 9:30, 10, and I want to wake up at 6 in the morning. But somehow my sleep disappears at 3 in the morning. And what do? I decide to check the time on the phone, and then I see a notification. The phone is, of course, on sleep mode, but I see a notification, an email or something in the middle of the night. And then I decide to check it out. And then I just don't go back to sleep.
Yeah. Have you heard about the blue light thing, though?
Yeah, I've heard about the blue light thing.
Yeah. Is it because of that?
Yeah, so I've set my phone to turn on the blue light, and I think give me the more yellow light. But I don't think it works really, because you're on the phone. The moment you're on the phone, you're on the phone.
Yeah.
And that keeps you asleep. I was talking to my doctor a couple of months ago, actually. And I was telling her that I keep my phone in the living room. And then I realized that she was also struggling with sleeping because of the phone. She didn't tell me, but I could tell. Because she was like, oh, that's what you do. I'm going to be doing that too. I mean, why are you telling me that you're going to be doing that too? It's because you're struggling with your phone, right?
Chances are.
Yeah. And do you think that lack of sleep then would affect your fitness as well? Yeah, I think that's what you were saying.
By far.
Yeah.
Like, say, I'll give an example, a practical example. A couple of weeks ago, I was doing, well, let's say 2-3 weeks ago, I was well rested and I was sleeping pretty well during that week. And I was like eating right, sleeping well, doing everything that I need to do. So one of the things I do to track progress is to lift heavier weights.
Yeah.
So I got up to 55 kg dumbbells. And on that day I did...
55 on one side or 55?
Yes.
Damn. You lift 55 on one side?
Yeah.
So can you do both, like 55 or 110 at a time?
Yeah.
Okay.
Should I give you a minute?
I don't think I can even do like 5 kilos on one side.
You can. I actually think you should try it one of these days.
Yeah, I've just never been a gym guy. Maybe I should start doing that, or even get dumbbells at home and try it out. Yeah.
So on that week, I did 8 reps for my bench presses.
Yeah.
This week was trash. Like, I've not been sleeping well this week. I could barely get 6. Like, that's how powerful recovery is. Like, if you don't sleep enough, like Now imagine if that's just 2 weeks difference. Imagine during the whole year, you're gymming or whatever kind of fitness it is, whether it's a gym, whether it's running. Imagine if you're not doing everything right in a year.
Yeah.
Including sleep. Of course, you're not going to make progress.
Sure.
So yeah, I think it's a huge part of the progress.
So it's possible that people are going to the gym every day for a year, but they're doing something else wrong. Maybe they're not eating right or sleeping right.
Well. And they're not seeing results.
And you can see the results.
Highly likely.
Okay.
Highly likely.
So it's all connected here.
Have you never met people who tell you they go to the gym and you're like,
yeah, I mean, I see them all the time.
How long have you trained? I've been going to the gym for 2 years.
Maybe they go once a week for 2 years, or once a month for 2 years.
Fair point. But like, yeah, there's people who actually lift consistently, but like never see progress, and it's because their diet or their sleep is not good.
Yeah.
Maybe other things like form is bad in the gym or their ego lifting, etc. But sleep. Yeah.
You talked about
cows.
Calves?
These things.
Calves? What do you call them?
Calves.
So you talked about an exercise that people dislike, Kenyans dislike. What did you call it?
Africans. They're called calf raises.
Calf raises.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they're meant to exercise your calves.
Yes. So you told me that Africans hate calf raises.
Yeah. Well,
are you one of those Africans?
Yeah.
Okay. So why do you hate this? Why do you hate them?
Just on behalf of the fitness community, calves are really hard to grow.
Okay.
Really hard to grow. It's even worse for Africans because we don't have genetics for it. So like, have you ever met like white people and they have like really well developed calves?
Yep. All the time.
We don't have that. So for us to have that or anything close, like you really have to hammer your calves. So we are talking maybe 10 sets every week at the bare minimum.
Yeah.
10 sets, 15, 20 reps. Like, cause like, yo, bro, those things are hard to grow. That's why many dudes wear like pants to the gym and not shorts. Yeah. I'm not saying many dudes, but like if you see me in pants, there's a reason. Yeah. But it's just what it is.
So are there, specific, other specific exercises that you absolutely dislike?
Squats.
Why?
Yo, they're punishment. Punishment. Like imagine having like maybe 150 kilos on your back and you have to squat it down and come up. 4 reps. Like not 4 reps, like 4 reps. Over and over and over again.
Yeah.
They're very punishing, but they're also very rewarding. Because like if you want big legs, they usually say that's the one thing you need to do.
Yeah.
So like my least favorites are calf raises. I hate squats. Then there's Bulgarian split squats. Bulgarian split squats are the worst. Those ones will have you questioning why you came to the gym. It's where you have one foot on a bench and the other one is in front, and then you have to go up and down.
Yeah.
And you're holding a weight.
Ooh. Yeah, I've seen those.
Thorough. But you grow big legs from them.
Okay.
Yeah. So those are my least favorite for sure.
Squats and
deadlifts, bro. Ooh,
okay.
Deadlifts are bad.
So can you describe what deadlifts are to the audience?
Deadlifts are an exercise where you have heavy weight on the bar and you have to lift it from the ground to your knees upright. Does that make sense? Like you have to bend down, pick it up, come up, take it down, come up. Super heavy.
Yeah.
Especially if you want like a big back and like a strong posterior chain, which is like your spine all the way down to your legs. You have to do deadlifts. But they are bad. Like the other day I saw someone doing 220 kilo deadlifts, 4 reps in our gym, and I was like, bruh, not me, never. You can't pay me enough to do that.
So having been on this for 6-7 years, as you said, I want to imagine that you've mastered some recovery methods, in between the days that you don't go to the gym or something like that. So what are the recovery methods that you would advise anybody to focus on, especially someone who's new into this or someone who's just beginning?
One of the things that I underrated for a very long time is the power of stretching. Stretching before and after.
Yeah.
So there's two types of stretches. There's dynamic and static. So dynamic is where you keep your body moving as you stretch. That helps you warm up to exercise whatever it is you want to exercise for that day. Static stretches are more like cool down stretches. And those two things are the most underrated thing, in my opinion, when it comes to fitness.
Yeah.
But they really help with recovery. So you don't get as sore as you would if you do static stretches, that is after your workout. And before, when you do the dynamic ones, it helps to just warm up your body to the weight. So many people end up injured simply because they just didn't do dynamic stretches.
Yeah.
So that whole before and after.
Yeah.
And then, of course, we've talked about diet and sleep.
Yeah.
Those are the top.
Yeah, so the recovery, it seems like not recovery, but the stretching is important even before. I actually didn't think about that.
Yes.
And because of what you just said here, injury.
Yes.
Have you ever had any injury?
Yes, I have. I've
Okay,
actually
let's talk
had
about that.
disc herniations before.
Oh.
Yeah.
What is that?
2 times over now. So a disc herniation is where like your back has a couple of discs, right? So when, say you're doing a deadlift and your back is like this and you don't manage, let's say the weight was too heavy and you happen to bend your back like that.
Yeah.
One of the discs will slip out of place. That's a disc herniation.
Yeah.
It comes back on its own over time, but it's painful.
Yeah.
It's one of those things you just have to sit out. Yeah. So those are the that one happens often.
Okay.
There's another one that has happened to me on my left shoulder, like where you're lifting too heavy and your shoulder just pops. Then now you have to kind of give it some time, or if it's really bad, you have to do surgery.
So in your case, you just gave it time.
Yeah, just time. But unfortunately, it never really is the same. Because like there's weights you'll get to, and you just feel it tweak a bit. Yeah.
Okay.
And that also has a lot to do with the stretching before and after. Because I never used to. When I was young, in my 21 to 23, 24, 25, I was like, what do you need stretches for? Yo, bro, you get to this other side where you're almost clocking 30 and beyond. Oof, you need those. Your body is like a cold Toyota engine. It needs to be warmed up proper. Like a diesel engine, actually. Like a proper diesel engine that's cold.
7 years is a long time to do this, man. You know, I feel like it's a lot of hard work. There's a lot of, first of all, you got to get used to it. And then sometimes you get hurt. Sometimes it's uncomfortable and you have these exercises that you are absolutely uncomfortable with. So how do you stay motivated then to keep doing this for a long time? And I want you to take yourself back to your first couple of months, maybe first year, first month or something like that. And I want to imagine that in some of those days you'd wake up and you'd be like, man, I don't feel like doing this. If you didn't feel like that, well, that's still fine. But I would feel like that. So what then kept you motivated at that time, and what keeps you motivated now?
So what I'm about to say is going to sound cliche, bro. But like, I think it comes to a point where for you to really, really stick with something, you can't depend on motivation. So I was thinking about motivation the other day. Like, what does it mean to motivate?
Are you asking me a question?
Yeah.
I guess to inspire somebody to do something.
To inspire someone to do something, yeah. Like, say, for example, you're a lecturer, right? Or a professor for that matter here. When you have like a question and then you say motivate your answer, what does that mean? Because I used to get a lot of that, like in uni.
I haven't asked my student that
to motivate the answers.
No, I haven't.
But like typically when they say motivate your answer, it's really more give reason for or something like that. Yeah. So when it comes to fitness, I think it comes to a point where you have to leave motivation out for a minute and just be disciplined.
Yeah.
However, for people who are starting, because I know like a lot of people really dream about, one day I'm going to do this thing, etc., etc. I'd say take it one day at a time.
Yeah.
Like, do it today. Don't think about tomorrow. Don't think about next week. Do it today. And when tomorrow comes, do it again.
Yeah.
And when the next day comes, do it again. Don't do it for... The thing with motivation is you'll say, oh, my motivation is to change my body in 3 months. What happens when that 3 months elapses and your body has not changed? You will stop.
Yep.
You see? But when you just do it for today, it's enough for today.
Yeah.
It's enough for tomorrow. It's enough for every single day that you do that thing. Before you know it, you can't do without that thing. You get to a point you're like, even my body wants to go to the gym.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that is what discipline does. Discipline keeps you going even when results are not there. Discipline keeps you going even when motivation is not there. Like, you see, that carries on your... That reason, that motivating reason is not there. But discipline keeps you going. And to be honest, like, I think later on when you've already achieved your goals, you realize you actually don't have to go to the gym every day.
Yeah.
You don't. People are actually just told, keep going when you begin, because it will help you build that discipline. Once the discipline is there, you could skip like 2 days and you're good. Like, the body won't go away.
Yeah.
Or even the fitness or the wellness aspect of it, it won't go away. Once you get to that point where you can't do without it, you don't even need motivation.
So have you ever had like a plateau for a couple of days in
Yes.
How did you overcome it?
I think I just sit through them, honestly.
So you just stay at home, don't go to the gym or whatever.
Yep.
What's the longest time that you've had this plateau for, if you can think about
2 weeks.
Okay.
I've actually taken 2 weeks off completely.
Is that a decision you made? You just decided, I'm not going to do this for 2 weeks, or you just didn't feel like going?
I think my body was just done. Like, I was just tired, and I was like, if I don't feel like it, I won't do it. Although that is after I've built a discipline, because you see, like, many a times you'll find someone will tell you, oh, my body doesn't feel like it, and they've only done it for 1 month.
Yeah.
If you've done it for 1 month, for example, you can't take a 2-week break and then go back. You won't go back. That's the truth. But when you've done it for 5 years and you take 2 weeks off,
you easily go back.
You can go back. So but like, I've had seasons where I've genuinely just hit plateaus even with my progress. And when that happens, I usually take a step back, take a chill pill, give the body a break, then you come back. And then you also switch things up. Don't do the same thing every day.
Has there been ever like a role played by role models, fitness role models in your journey? And I'm asking this because earlier on we were discussing about Andrew Huberman, because I'm a great fan of the Andrew Huberman show because of the scientific facts that he shares in his podcast. And then you told me, you referred to him, or you told me about his fitness side as well, which I've never really been keen on. But so do you have any, like role models that you've looked at, or even initially that you looked at up to?
Online?
Yeah, could be online, could be in person.
In person, barely. In person, barely.
You must be that role model to other people than in person. I'd imagine.
Man, I'm hoping. I'm really, really hoping.
Yeah, man. Look at this guy here. It's gotta be your role model if you want to get a body like his, right?
I'm really hoping so. And one of the reasons I haven't really had a role model in real life is because it's one of, I think fitness is one of those very personal things. No one can force you to do it. I usually make this joke. There's 2 things you can't force someone to do. You can't force someone to go to school, and you can't force them to go to the gym.
Hey, kids are forced to go to school all the time. But I get your point.
I don't have kids, though. I wouldn't know.
No, when you were a kid, were there days that you never felt like going to school? When you're like, I don't know.
Just so you know, I was a good kid.
Okay.
I was very obedient. I was like, we're going to school. Maybe day 1. I don't know. Anyway. But where were we again?
Yeah, you told me that 2 things that someone can force you to do: going to school and going to the gym.
We're talking about mentorship. And who, there's definitely people online who I look up to, and I really actually like, I'm keen to follow and to see like what's up, what's going on in the space. Like Dr. Huberman is one of them. There's also another guy called Simeon Panda. Simeon Panda is a guy I used to look up to when I began, because I was like, this guy has crazy genetics. I was like, I'll check their videos out every once in a while. And a few other channels, like really, really. the thing about me is when I'm intrigued by something, I'll really go out of my way to learn about that thing. So I can't tell you there's just one guy who I really looked up to. Like there's a couple of guys on the internet who are constantly posting like helpful information. Yeah. So there's another guy called Athlenex. When I started, I used to watch a lot of his stuff. There's a guy called Jeff Nippard as well. Jeff Nippard is from Canada. Really, really helpful stuff. Great. So basically learning the science behind it, because many cans do it kienyeji, like I'll just do it bro science way.
What are some surprising facts you learned, like scientific facts that you learned when you were listening to these guys?
Sleep.
Okay.
The importance of sleep. Supplementation as well, like whatever supplements you use and how they impact your performance in the long run. I didn't know that as well. I also didn't know you don't have to train for like more than an hour every day just to achieve what you want. You can train for less than an hour and get.
So how long do you normally do?
Right now I'm at 1.5, but that's because I train, like say for example, if I'm doing push pull legs, like on push day I'll do push and then I'll do biceps. Just because for me that's a weak area. So I'll target two things. So the main one and one weak area. But like an hour is fine. Like honestly.
30 minutes?
30 minutes might be cutting it close. 45. 45 minutes a day and you're good. Every day. Maybe 4 or 5 times a week.
So you've talked about supplements here a second ago, and I want to get into that in a quick second. But before we get into that, water, we talk about water weight. So is water weight a result of me just drinking water, or is it a result of me retaining a lot of water in my body and not losing that through urine or something?
It could be a couple of reasons. Like there's people who, of course, who have like kidney problems and that could lead to a lot of water retention. There's people who have a lot of water weight just because they eat a lot of carbs, and your body actually retains a lot of water.
When
especially if you're on a high carbs diet. That's been my observation.
Which
but I think it's also
most
scientific.
Africans and most Asians with rice and ugali and chapati.
So if I'm not wrong, it's also scientific. Like the more carbs you eat and you drink a lot of water as well, you retain a lot of it. And then it could also be as a result of supplementation. There's supplements that you take and you retain a lot more water than you ideally would. Okay,
so let's talk about supplements. Or did you want to say something else?
No, I didn't. That's actually that's it.
So supplements. So do you actually need supplements when you're working out?
Need? No.
So why do you take them, or why do people take them? So why? Let me ask that again. So why do people take them?
Oh, I take supplements, just so you know.
Okay.
Just as a disclaimer. Supplements are supplements. Like if I say something is supplementing something else, it just means I'm already doing the thing. I'm just going to supplement it. Or like there's something that's missing that I will add on to my diet. Makes sense? So why are supplements important? It just helps you get what you ideally don't get from what you eat day to day, but it's still important for whatever it is that you're shooting for. So say for example, if someone has a deficiency in blood, they'd have to take, say, a certain supplement to help increase their blood, for example. Or they'd have to eat more greens, for example, to increase whatever it is. That's what supplements do. Partly. On the other hand, I think supplements also help you achieve things that you'd ideally not achieve if you're not on them. And I'll explain. I know it's now starting to sound like steroids. But no.
I mean, I'm happy to
PEDs.
hear.
It's definitely not performance enhancing drugs. I'll give an example of myself. Like, so say for example, if your recovery is not good and you're not having enough protein, you'll just buy a protein supplement to supplement that, because ideally you're not reaching your protein goals. Another example is I'm on creatine, for example. Creatine is something that occurs naturally in your body. But if you want a lot more of it, you can supplement. And say, for example, the benefit of creatine that I personally use it for is you realize strength gains. So you lift a lot more than you ideally would if you're not on them.
Okay. When you're doing the supplements, would you would that be considered doping if you were in competitive sports?
No.
Okay. Because I'm only asking because I'm interested in skiing in the Olympics in the year 2030.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's nice.
For Kenya.
Ooh. I'm sure the team is very slim. Like
yeah.
So you have a chance.
Initially,
no?
Actually, funny thing. Initially, I wanted to do downhill skiing.
Okay.
So and then I realized that one of the three types of downhill skiing. And then I realized I was reading the newspaper recently. Then I realized that this kid who's actually training in the French Alps, and the kid is Kenyan. Probably one of those kids from Karen or something, suburbs of Karen. Yeah,
typical stereotype.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. They gotta be living somewhere there, or in Nanyuki, in a big ranch, or somewhere in,
definitely not in Utawala or
yeah, yeah, exactly,
Umoja or something. But I hear you.
Yeah, it seems like a rich kid. Is I think 16 years old now or something. So and then I realized that he'll probably be the one representing Kenya in downhill skiing, because 2030 will be about 5 years from now. The kid will be 21 then. I'll be so old then, man. I'll be almost dropping down and falling.
I have a good one. It's going to be an uphill task.
Yep.
So are you serious or are you kidding?
I'm serious.
Are you still going to pursue it?
Yeah, so I'm gonna focus on cross country skiing. Okay. Cross country skiing is
what does that look like?
So it's more strength dependent, and you kind of go on a more level ground. Okay. So it's more about endurance.
Okay.
Yeah. So all your muscles are involved too. Okay. So your legs will be involved. Your basically all your body muscles. There's three sports that involve all the body muscles. So swimming, rowing, and cross country skiing. I learned that from a guy who's going to be on the pod very soon also. But yeah, so I intend to do that. And so the reason why I'm asking that is if I were to take supplements, for instance, will I be disqualified from the Olympics because I was, they'd say that this guy's been doping with creatine, for instance.
Creatine is actually not considered like a performance enhancing drug.
Yeah.
However, when it comes to supplementing, the other thing I usually say is I think it's important to get it from like a reputable retailer.
Yeah. Because
like a lot of these guys are selling stuff and they know they are laced with things and they won't tell you until you're actually caught with it and you're like, I didn't know that has that. So I think it's also important to get like a good retailer who is reputable.
Yeah.
So say for example, Gold Standard Whey Protein, for example. Optimum Nutrition is one of those reputable brands.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or locally, could be USN, could be whoever. Yeah. Just get like a reputable guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True.
Or brand to buy from.
Yeah. And I would imagine the same would go for anything else that goes into your body, including your food. Like get the right food to go inside.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, but what do you eat?
Yo, this is where this conversation falls apart.
Let's talk about it.
I usually say I think I chose the right parents.
Okay.
I'm those guys who get away with eating anything, and I don't look like I eat anything. Yeah.
So anything is like you'd wake up to a bowl of ice cream and cake and 3 glasses of milk.
Just so you know, I feel attacked. I feel very attacked.
Why?
Because I'm those people who when I'm eating a cheat meal, like I eat a proper cheat meal.
Yeah.
Like I won't as properly as I train.
Yeah.
I eat my cheat meals. However, so typically in a week I'd probably have, for my proteins, I'd have chicken, beans, I'd have green grams, I'd have brown lentils, yellow lentils. Typically that's it.
Yeah.
Then for my greens I'll have spinach I'll have spinach, kale, and that's it.
Yeah.
When it comes to carbs, I'll probably have chapati, rice, oats, bananas, if at all I could count bananas there. And that's about it.
Yeah.
Oh, and a lot of eggs as well. I eat eggs every other day, at least.
Do you eat raw eggs or cooked eggs?
No, cooked. Boiled mostly. Boiled, yeah.
Why don't you eat raw eggs? I see a lot of people in fitness eating raw eggs.
I know, right? Funny enough, people used to think that your body will absorb that quicker, and over time science has actually proven that to be a lie.
I even saw this guy, maybe I don't know if they call him the guy on a bush bush meat or something.
Yeah,
So the guy
Liver King.
Liver King, yes.
Yeah, Liver King.
So what's that with him? Does he eat liver only or something?
Funny enough, that's what he branded himself as. He was like, hey guys, I'm the guy who is eating things raw and things like that. And then people found out he was on PEDs. He was actually on PEDs.
What is that? Performance enhancement drugs?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So like he was selling a lifestyle, but like leaving something else behind the scenes. Yeah. So that's typically what my diet looks like. Now when it comes to...
What do you mean that's what typically it looks like? Like you eat bush meat or something?
No. Like I was tying to the other conversation about what I eat in a week.
Yeah. But if I may pick your mind a little bit, so since you said the eggs, people used to do eggs and they probably weren't absorbed as fast as better than cooked eggs.
Yes.
Do you think eating a raw diet would be better? A raw meat would be okay? Would that get absorbed? I mean, without getting to the science of it. And the reason I'm asking this is because I'm imagining that my ancestors many years ago probably didn't have access to, properly cooking meat, make it very soft and stuff like that. So it's possible that some people ate it raw or others ate it undercooked. But they would be generally healthy.
Generally healthy.
I would imagine they would be generally healthy.
Well, that's a very interesting way to look at it. But over time, did you know that most athletes are actually going plant-based? Did you know that?
Tell me about that.
Like Lewis Hamilton went plant-based, and many other guys like...
But Lewis Hamilton, man, the guy sits in a car, pushes a pedal, and...
That's what I thought as well. Have you ever seen the mechanics behind it?
No, I haven't.
The thing is a sport, bro.
Okay.
That thing is a sport.
I mean, he just needs to have a quick response time, I'd imagine, to brake and accelerate and turn the steering wheel around.
But do you know, even for you to achieve that or to even have a quick response rate, everything has to be game. You have to be sleeping enough. You have to be eating right. You have to be at a certain weight.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't think about that, actually.
Quick response time. It's very mental as well. So many athletes, even in other sports outside of that, like even in soccer, I think even Bolt, if I'm not wrong, but I'm not sure. But there's many other athletes who've gone plant-based after that, simply because of the benefits long term. In terms of performance. I'm guessing you, in your case, for example, are looking to perform at such a high level. So those are some of the things that you'd ideally consider. However, to tie to that conversation about eating raw meat, I wouldn't know much about that. I also think like the body needs the least work it can do to perform at its best. Makes sense? So I'd say, for example, if it will process boiled meat faster than raw meat, I would rather give it that. So that I'm also not spending half the day just trying to
digest the food.
The food digested, and then the other half is spent trying to train, and then the other
makes sense.
I feel like I also think we should be graceful on our bodies.
How much of your food portion would you say is plant-based? Out of, give it a percentage, say.
Right now I'd say 70.
Okay.
Growing up, I grew up with a dad who is vegetarian. So like my mom never really cooked a lot of meat. Like it's something I've actually just decided for myself now. I'm like, I'll eat a bit of chicken here and there. I'll have a bit of meat, kidogo here and there.
I grew up vegetarian too.
Oh yeah?
What grew up plant-based. So when I graduated high school, so being in school, it was easy to kind of maintain that lifestyle. But when I graduated high school and kind of went into business, it was hard for me because I'd go into restaurants and the restaurants wouldn't have like,
plant-based
food. And I'd go visiting people and people would have to cook a separate meal for me. And I was actually more extreme. I used to eat non-fried food, so my food would just be boiled. And so I felt like I was an inconvenience to people. And so what I eventually started, what broke the back is one day I went to this restaurant called Fogo Gaucho. I was being farewell to a friend of mine. She was going to study in Malaysia. And they had lots of meat. And actually all the food they had was meat.
You know why? It was a meeting.
So in this meeting, we ate so much meat, man. And since that day, I just became a meat eater.
How much of meat do you eat?
Now, I rarely go out to buy meat to cook in my home. But I do love tilapia, so I would eat tilapia every couple of days if I can get it.
I was wondering what is smelling fishy. I'm kidding.
Yeah. But then again, it sometimes it takes me about a month before I get it. I get to meet that. But I do a lot of eggs though. Yeah.
The other thing that I've been challenged, especially from my friends, is to think longevity. So that, of course, we know the risk is slightly higher. The risk for disease gets like a little higher when you're on a highly meat-infused diet. So I have not really cut on the meat I eat.
Yeah.
But like I don't eat as much as an average person does.
Yeah.
Just for longevity. I also think the kind of meat that we get nowadays is so... What's the word I'm looking for? It's not genuine meat. Like it's chicken that were forced to grow quickly, and things like that. Yeah.
With steroids and stuff.
Yeah. So even when I eat meat, I try eat on the cleaner side of things. Yeah. Because there's definitely the risk of disease in the long term.
Yeah.
What's the point of looking good now and then when I'm 40, 45, I'm dealing with cancers? Yeah. Doesn't make sense. Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
If we go back to food here for a quick second, so is there a way that you fuel yourself before workout and after workout?
Yes, for sure. I usually have a pre-workout.
Okay.
So ideally my pre-workout meals would look like bananas or like a sandwich.
Yeah.
With peanut.
What would be in the sandwich?
With peanut butter.
A peanut butter sandwich?
Yeah.
Okay.
With a banana. That's it. Typically, that's it.
That's the pre-workout.
Yeah. Although I usually also have pre-workout before. Like pre-workout supplements.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's in the pre-workout supplements?
It depends. They vary. There's the caffeine-free ones. There's the one that have caffeine. So it really depends on how you feel on that day.
Yeah. If you feel
but just
lazy, you take caffeine. Why would you be taking caffeine before?
People take a lot of coffee as well for a pre-workout. I don't.
So I'm trying to understand what is the reason why you want to take coffee or caffeine before workout? Is it because you want to be psyched up for it? You don't want to feel sleepy?
It gives you that kick, that jump. Yeah.
Okay,
that's why we would. Although for the pre-workout meal, it's just something light to keep you going through the workout.
Oh, I see.
Because you see, I train at night, so I'm going through the whole day. There's that fatigue, there's hunger. So I just get something small, like 30 minutes to 1 hour before.
Yeah.
And then I'm good for the workout.
Okay. And then what about after the workout?
High protein.
Okay.
High protein for sure. Typically
raw eggs.
I wish. Typically it would be like rice, a little bit of rice and beans, or like a chicken stew or whatever it is, out of all the grains I mentioned earlier, like a stew of that, and then with greens on the side. But I don't eat as much at night because of the whole discomfort thing. So typically I'd eat most of my calories early in the day. So my breakfast would be like oats, like or muesli, maybe 100 grams of that, and 2 bananas and a bit of milk, like maybe 250 ml of milk, and then I'll have like 3-4 eggs for breakfast. That's breakfast.
Do you plan your food, or can you just wake up and eat anything?
No, I don't just wake up and eat anything. Funny enough, I'm a creature of habit. I eat the same thing every single day.
Damn. Isn't your life boring?
You just find ways to make it interesting.
Okay.
Like, say, for example, if I ate muesli today, I'll eat oats tomorrow, or the way I eat oats tomorrow is not the same way I will eat it a week from now. Yeah. So there's different recipes I'll try for oats, because oats are very, meh.
They're just there.
Yeah. So I'd ideally switch things up when it comes to the recipe and just how you eat it and present it to yourself as well. Yeah.
So when you started the show, you said that one of the reasons why you got into working out is because you wanted to look good out of clothes. But before you decided to look good out of clothes, you had decided to look good with clothes. In clothes.
Yes.
Okay. So let's talk about that as well. You're into fashion and stuff like that. And so one of the things you mentioned is you were telling me when I come on the show, is there anything you prefer me to wear?
Yes.
And I told you, it doesn't matter, man. It's a free show. Just show up with, however you feel like.
Yeah.
And then you told me that, just make sure that I'm not in stripe, because stripe doesn't look good on camera.
Yes.
And then I didn't think about it, because I'm always in black, and most of my guests are always wearing some solid color. So we never thought about that.
Yeah.
But that was interesting. That was like, something new that I learned too.
I know, right?
Yeah.
It's really about the details. Like the details really, really matter.
Yeah.
Like, and this some of this I learned in school, and because I've also run a channel before.
Yeah.
I realize how you present yourself really matters. Like, because what you say is not the first thing people will see. They will see what you are wearing. Yeah, so presentation for me has always been a big deal. Yeah. Even if, say, for example, they usually say dress for the job you want, not for the one you have. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So say, for example, if your podcast ever blows up, and it will eventually, because, like, consistency.
Yeah.
Like we spoke about earlier, offset. If someone came back to this video and they saw me, would I feel funny?
You'd be comfortable, I guess.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So I dress for what I want, not what I have.
Okay.
Makes sense.
Damn, that is deep,
even
man.
The science of color. Because we were talking about the science of color.
Color, yes. And you told me that when you go into an interview to hang out with somebody, blue exudes more confidence.
Yes.
And black exudes more power.
Yes.
So,
and did you know if you want to war a woman, you should wear red?
Damn.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, say for example,
red, here I come.
So if you are hunting for a girl, for example, I'd say wear a red polo shirt.
Okay.
Yeah.
Isn't that too extreme?
Actually, well, it is a bit out there, but like, it would work. Or like it could be just a suit, but you have a red tie on, or a red pocket square. Or I read something. Yeah. Somewhere. Yeah.
Okay.
So small details.
So let's go back to what you told me about blue. So can you tell me that again, or tell the guys watching us that again?
Okay. So according to the science of color, different colors exude different things when you present yourself to people.
Yeah.
So black in general is looked at as a very formal color and more of a power thing. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's why you'll find many CEOs, many people in the higher end of society tend to wear black.
Yeah.
Simply because, like, when they meet each other, they want that vibe that says, hey, yo, I'm the boss here.
Yeah.
Or in my space, I am the best. Blue, on the other hand, inspires confidence in people. So if someone saw you in blue, they're most likely going to trust you if they saw you in blue.
Yeah.
On the other hand, if you wore red to an interview, for example, people would think, hey, this guy's outlandish, or like, this girl is too promiscuous.
Yeah.
So it also depends on the context of where you're going to.
Yeah.
If it was a date and a lady showed up in red, do you know, chances are very high you like her.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
As opposed to a lady, my God, a lady wearing red, black, I mean.
Yeah.
You'd be like, something feels mysterious about her, but you can't really tell what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Unless you're going for that vibe, for example.
Yeah.
If a dude showed up in all black for a date, a chick will probably think, he looks mysterious. I want to find out something more about them.
So girls, wear red to your dates, first dates.
Depending on what they want to
and guys wear black to your first dates.
Yes. So it depends.
So what about white?
White is one of those very...
Will I look pure? Like
you'll come across as clean.
Okay.
Because if you can manage white, chances are very high you're a clean person.
So trust me, because I'm cleanest guy in the room. I'll get the job done.
It may not inspire like trust, but cleanliness.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which is just okay.
And imagine, on the other hand, someone will think, if this guy is bold enough to wear white, they'll be like, he's probably very feisty about small stuff. Like, he's probably a clean freak. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn.
So it depends. It's very contextual.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've been looking at your Instagram. What do we call the Instagram channel?
No, Instagram
page. Yeah. So I've been looking at your Instagram page.
Profile.
Again,
you're old. You're old. It's a Facebook page, bro.
Okay, so I've been looking at your Instagram profile, Wardrobe Chronicles.
Yes, sir.
And, I've been seeing, what you've been posting there. But I want to ask you, what are your go-to outfit essentials that you would always, be looking at? Or what would you say that is necessary to have in your closet?
As a man?
Yeah.
I'll make this simple. Gray pants, gray formal pants, tan chinos, a navy suit, a white shirt, formal, a blue formal shirt as well. I'd say 2 polo shirts of any color of your choice. And then I'd say a hat, sunglasses, accessories, a watch, a really good watch. And what else? And a blazer. Did I also say jeans?
No, you didn't say jeans.
Okay. So let's add 2 pairs of jeans. One black one and one dark blue one.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then combine those in whatever way that you want.
That's it.
Is there a wrong combination of those colors?
Is there a wrong combination? No. So you see those items that I gave you, you could wear them interchangeably and they look good.
Yeah.
That's it.
Is that what you wear all the time?
Typically, yeah. Typically, well, right now I'm a little more sophisticated because that's just a beginner's kit. Mine is more, because I've done this for years.
Yours is way up here.
You could say that.
The upper echelons of power.
Say, for example, this shirt is not something you'll find everyone wearing.
Yeah, me, you probably would never find me wearing that.
Yeah, so it's a little more sophisticated.
Yeah, well, maybe let me rephrase that. While I could wear it, it's not something I would go out and buy.
Yeah. So, but those things I mentioned are a very good place to start.
Yeah.
Maybe you could add maybe a couple of t-shirts there, like black and gray and navy blue.
Like a black v-neck, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mostly black v-neck.
Just not too deep. Like just deep enough to look masculine the way yours looks. You're good.
So since you're in the upper echelons of fashion here, and
I feel honored, bro.
Yeah, I mean, you're not normal like us who are basic, who are even asking for what should I be planning to wear. So are you, would you say that you are in do you have a favorite fashion era?
I wouldn't say era, I'd say a style.
Okay.
When it comes to my personal style, I'm more on for the longest time, I've been more on the formal classic style.
Yeah.
So blazers, shirts, ties, chinos or khakis as people call them. I've been more on that end of things, more formal. However, right now I'm looking to get into, a little less formal.
Yeah.
Because I think with age you also are trying to look young, So I'm trying to keep up,
Yeah, that was me in my 20s, man. I used to be in a suit every day from Sunday to Sunday.
See your life
every single day. Now I'm so relaxed, man. I only own one suit right now.
Although I'm curious, why did you stop wearing suits?
That's an interesting question. I just realized there were a lot of work for me. I mean, I had to decide what to wear. It goes back to what I said. I had to decide what to wear. And also at the same time, I kind of thought that it is possible that the reason why I was wearing suits is because I thought that was the only way to look smart or to look presentable, right? But after traveling the world and seeing that you could still look presentable without having a suit on, I just decided that it was easier for me to go this other way. And at the same time, I feel like maybe the people who were wearing suits in Canada, for instance, were very specific people like lawyers, bankers, and people like those, while everybody else, from your professors, which is where I was, headed, or going all the way to anybody generally, even preachers in church, which is what I also do on the side. I do preach. They would be less formal. And so I decided, what, maybe this is how I want to go. And when I sat down and started looking at it, I thought that it is possible that this is stuck in the 19th, 18th century presentability of what was there in the Europeans or the Britons or the Americans, and that's what was brought to us. And then we took that. And so I thought that, what, it takes me a lot of time, costs a lot of money to do all this. I'm gonna be presentable, but as cheap as I can. And so I became myself.
What does that look like to your students?
Oh,
Do they find you more chilled?
I think so. Sometimes this day I was headed to talking about, looking younger. This day I was going to the department. I was going to pick something from the department. And so normally I send students to pick stuff up for me. And so this day I decided to go by myself. So it's the first time that one of the ladies there was meeting me for the first time. She's been working there for a while, but she'd never met me. So I show up and I'm here. I'm here to pick up XYZ. I'm like, did Professor Gato send you? I'm like, no. So my name is Joab. Like, you're Joab, okay.
I know.
I felt so good. I was like, he told me you look like a student. Like, oh yeah. I was so happy. Oh really? I pulled it off. Yeah. So
That's interesting.
So to answer your question though, what my students think about it, I feel like I'm more connected to my students that way. Okay. I can easily sit down with them. When they're presenting their stuff, I can sit down with them. I have discussions with them during office hours. They can come to me and we can have a chat about it.
Yeah, as opposed to if you're dressed up.
I think so.
Yeah.
Okay. And generally, I feel like maybe they believe me more. Hopefully, I don't know if I would be more believable if I was in a suit. But yeah, I like it that way.
That's interesting because that's a very similar. I stopped dressing up for that reason as well. And for me it was because I didn't know this until later on. I realized I wanted to look successful before I was successful. Makes sense. So it was more putting up an image. And then when I'd say I'm not doing badly for myself right now.
Yeah.
But like right now, I don't feel the need to put up the image that I'm doing well.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Yeah. So that's why I don't dress up as often as I used to.
Maturity.
Come again?
Maturity.
I am what?
Maturity. Like you mature.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. It actually is. Yeah. Yeah. So nowadays it's more of inspire people on Instagram. Yeah. Mix it up here and there.
Yeah. Are there any trends that you think they should go away?
Yeah. Skinny clothes.
I wear skinny jeans all the time, man.
It's about time.
Okay.
It's about time. Yeah. Skinny clothes.
Coming from a guy who until recently was wearing clothes that were very revealing of his chest and his biceps and everything, and now that you wear XXL, you are like, all this skinny stuff should go away. I feel more confident in my skinny jeans though.
I don't think you have to kill skinny. Okay, here's the thing. It's not. Let me rephrase this. You'd look better in straight fit jeans than the skinny jeans.
Okay.
Makes sense? Yeah.
I'm going to try that out.
Flattering. I'll actually send you stuff after this.
Okay.
Later on.
Okay.
Yeah, so that you see what I'm talking about.
All right.
So it is more looking for an aesthetic that looks more like you than reveals stuff. Makes sense.
Yeah.
So I think skinny clothes, like super skinny clothes, like the things that show the promised land without taking people to the promised land. If you know, you know.
LOL.
There's that. Yeah, that's the one thing I can think about off the top of my head.
Yeah. Earlier on you talked about accessories, and one of the accessories you mentioned is a watch.
Yeah.
So for a long time I used to be a watch guy. I have multiple collections of watches.
Ooh.
And until
you actually have good taste in watches.
Oh,
let me say that.
Thank you.
Yes.
So up until recently I stopped wearing a watch. So my most recent watch was a smartwatch. I moved digital.
Yeah.
And so I started feeling a tingling feeling on this area of my hand.
Oh yeah.
And I thought I was getting carpal tunnel syndrome. I started playing classical guitar.
Okay.
And I thought maybe it's the me training, because I have concert every quarter. So I thought maybe training for this concert is what was making my finger tingle or my hand tingle. And then one day I just took off my watch. Well, I used to have the watch on all the time, including when I'm sleeping, when I used to take it off only when I'm showering or when I'm charging it. And then I took it off one evening, and by morning when I woke up, my hand was feeling okay.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, maybe my hand just felt okay for whatever reason. So I put it back on, went through the day. By afternoon, I was feeling the tingling feeling again. So I dumped the watches. So I don't wear watches anymore.
Oh, really? At all? Even like the classic traditional one?
Even the classic traditional one, because I tried with the classic traditional one. And I still, felt a similar feeling.
Oof.
Yeah.
Tough.
Yeah. It could be that maybe they were too tight on me, but I tried loosening them and all that, but it wasn't working. So I was like, you know what, I'm okay. Now I'm probably going to get a stopwatch hanging on my neck, and then I'm going to be looking at my watch that way. Or, you know, those Elizabethan watches that used to go into pockets that, you know, people used to pull out.
Pocket watches.
Yeah, but I have a cell phone, so a cell phone could probably do the same thing that, you know, those pocket watches could do.
Yeah.
But then I wanted to ask, how important are accessories to men's fashion, and then what would some of those accessories be? I know you talked about sunglasses and watches, so would there be anything else apart from those?
Yeah, I think it's also a very personal conviction kind of thing, because, like, of course, there's guys who don't do jewelry at all. There's people who find jewelry feminine, etc., etc. So I think it really comes down to personal preference. So, like, sunglasses, I feel like those are like a sweet in between. You know what I mean? And then there's like a watch, for example. Of course, there's these wrist things people wear nowadays.
Yeah.
Although I don't think they make for much. It also depends on your style as well.
Yeah.
So to answer your question, are accessories important? Yes, they just tie the look together.
Yeah.
Like, there's people who consider ties to be accessories, pocket squares to be accessories.
Yeah.
Sunglasses, for example. There's people to whom those are essentials. There's others who will think, that's just a bonus, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think the devil is in the details when it comes to accessories. Yeah. But the less the better.
Yeah, let's talk about mistakes that, you know, people make in fashion. I've seen you posting recently things that celebrities do, or, you know, celebrities wears that you couldn't wear.
Yeah.
So let's talk about those for a second. So mistakes that you've seen in men's fashion.
Let me just say, bro, first of all, those videos have gotten me a lot of backlash.
Okay.
Like, a lot.
Okay. From those celebrities or from just folks?
From guys.
Okay.
I also realize Kenyans are very big on this whole celebrity culture thing. Like, when you attack a celebrity, they feel like, yo, this is personal. I'm like, chill out, guys. It's just, I just wouldn't wear those things.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I really advocate for is, I genuinely think men should be men. Genuinely.
Yeah.
So when it comes to clothes, like, if it's giving feminine, I'm not wearing it. And that's just a me thing. And I think that's something men should embrace.
Yeah.
Just wearing masculine looking clothes.
Yeah.
Makes sense. That's one of them. So one of the mistakes is wearing somewhat feminine clothes.
Yeah.
Clothes that if someone saw you, they'd be like, you know that video, Mister, should I call you Mister?
Yeah.
So there's that. Another thing is, of course, just wearing wrinkly clothes.
Yeah.
There's people who just don't care. I'll wear whatever the hell I want. I think that speaks to presentation.
Yeah.
I think you must put in
some effort.
Yeah, put in effort. Put your best foot forward.
Yeah.
Another thing is wearing sports socks with formal clothes. You know, those white Nike.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they're covered.
Are they?
Yeah.
How did I see them?
I don't know. You're picking where you keep your eyes above my knees.
You see people see your whole body.
Yeah.
Even when you see it, like, even now you can see my socks. You know.
Yeah.
That's another mistake people, like, many men make.
Yeah.
Another thing is overly accessorizing. So like, someone will hear me saying, "Oh, accessories are good," then they'll slap everything on themselves.
Yeah. A hat, sunglasses, three rings on the finger,
a watch, a chain, etc., etc. So there's overly accessorizing as well. This one is more of a grooming thing, being unkempt.
Yeah.
And I think being kempt is part of presentation and part of dressing as well. So that's another mistake many guys make.
Yeah. Man, why are you pointing out at me, man? I'm the one who puts on those. I mean, these are sports socks that I have on. I have them on all the time.
Today I'm shouting, eh? But those don't look like sports socks, in all fairness.
Okay.
If I saw that, I wouldn't know.
I agree.
Like, you don't know those ankle socks people wear?
Yeah,
I know
and
them. Then they wear them with loafers, bro. I'm like, no. Yeah.
So you also talk about, you know, being well kept.
Yeah.
I mean, I rarely comb my hair.
And,
yeah. I mean, because it takes time. So yeah, I'm trying to save on time.
I mean, you're welcome to the club. You know, there's other ways to save time.
Yeah.
But this won't save you money.
You know,
Fair point.
I could do it myself, you know, at home, you know, with my machine.
Yeah.
Another thing you said is wearing wrinkly clothes. So, luckily enough, my wife would prepare clothes for me.
Lucky you.
And you know, sometimes they would be okay. But when I have black t-shirts on, I mean, I'm generally okay. I don't need to iron them or anything or
Yeah.
steam them.
Yeah.
But I do roll them because sometimes they have lint on them, and so I run a rinse roll on them.
And you see
sometimes.
that's effort.
Yeah,
That's effort.
I think that's the only effort I put is to run a rinse roll on my clothes.
Do you wear dirty shoes?
Not really. I mean, I only wear one pair of shoes mostly.
Okay.
It's
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Yes, you have like CEO tendencies, like very predictable, very.
Yeah, I mean, it saves time.
Yeah,
So I have black Converse shoes, which is what I wear almost all the time.
You're a busy man, eh?
I try to run around since I mean, like we said, time is running fast, so I gotta run faster than time.
Yeah, that's
hopefully.
true. That's true.
Yeah,
that's actually a good point.
Yeah, and so which is what makes me think, man, if I were hanging out with you, you'd probably think about me as this guy who is making all the mistakes. And so I'm just thinking to myself, how can I not make mistakes, but then again still save time? So is there anything that I should that people like me can do really quickly, or that they can plan earlier on that would save them time and still look good?
I think the easiest way to do that is just develop a uniform like you have.
Okay.
Like, that you look good in black t-shirts and jeans and Converse sneakers. There's nothing wrong with it. Don't add, don't take away from it.
Yeah.
If, say, for example, I work in a corporate or formal setting and I know gray suits look good on me with a blue shirt, just get more gray suits and more formal shirts. That's it.
Okay.
Just develop a uniform. And just daily grooming. Like, grooming doesn't take so much.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unless you have hair like Joab. But you get the gist of it. Yeah. Basically, develop a uniform. It makes work so much easier. Even me, who has as much or as many clothes as I do, there's those things I gravitate towards. That's my uniform.
Yeah. When guests sit on the couch where you're seated, I treat them like presidents, kings, and queens.
Oh, you have already, man. you really have. Thank you. Am I allowed to tell them about the watch?
Of course you are.
This man has taste. So he gifted me a watch that has since meant so much to me. I just want to give you a shout out. I really appreciate the thought behind it. Yeah, and I love the watch. Yes, at least now I will keep time. Not that I didn't coming here, but like I really love it. Yes,
great.
Thank you so much. Yeah,
you're welcome, man. Anytime. It's the least that I could do for you.
Thank you.
Yeah,
thank you. You're saying you treat them like presidents.
Yeah, presidents, and so one of the traditions that I've borrowed from is what the American president does when he leaves office. He normally leaves a question for the next guy who's in office. And so for that reason, the guests who sit on the couch before you left a question for you. They didn't know that it was you, and I didn't know the question until now. Okay. So the question is, to the next guest, advice to your 10-year-old self now. So for the first time, I don't understand this question as well.
I totally understand it.
Okay, great. So I'm going to ask it again. So the next guest, advice to your 10-year-old self now.
That's interesting. I feel like, with that question, it's so deep, bro. Like, it really... Okay. Advice I'd give my 10-year-old self now is... You can be and do anything. Anything. Yeah. And the only limits you have are in your mind.
In your mind?
Yes. Like, if there's something you can't achieve, it's because you have decided not to achieve it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Nothing outside of you can stop you from getting what you want. Like, if God truly wants it for you, you can do it.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Totally
for
agree.
Sure.
Totally agree, man. So here's your opportunity to write a question for the next guest on the show.
Oh, okay. This is going to be interesting. Let's see.
Take some time, think about it if you haven't thought about it already, and then jot it down. All right.
Good. I think that's a good question I put. Hopefully.
Yeah, that would be interesting. The next guest is gonna have a field day with it.
But that's a really good question.
Yeah.
like what they asked. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
David, man, it's been nice sitting here with you. You know, we've talked about a lot of things, and you are such a vibe. You know, you are very knowledgeable in what you do, in your fitness. You're very knowledgeable in fashion, and you know, there's many other things that you do.
Yeah.
But I want to give you this opportunity to say anything that you wanted to say that I haven't given you an opportunity to. You know, you can take this time and say it.
Ooh, okay, that's interesting. First of all, you're very kind.
Thank you.
Allow me to say that. If these people don't know that, like, you're one of the kindest people I've genuinely met.
Okay.
And I'm not saying this because you said good stuff about me. It's because I genuinely like mean it. Like, I've never had a conversation that was like this from the jump. Like, as soon as I got here, like, it was story after story after story.
Yeah.
And I really, really love that, and I appreciate that about you. And that you're consistent. We don't get a lot of that in our generation. So I see that, I appreciate it, and I love that.
Thank you, man.
Yeah.
But you're gonna make me start crying now. So stop.
You better. And if there's one thing I would want to say, let's see. I think the one thing I'd say is God is good. God is really good. And at the end of the day, things turn out exactly how they're supposed to turn out.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of life. You see where you are, like right now, even this conversation, it was supposed to have happened. Like, this is exactly how it was meant to be in this point, at this point in time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Great, man.
That's it.
Thank you, David, man. Thanks for hanging out with me on this couch today. It's been nice having you, nice talking, nice eating with you. You know.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Really, really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Guys, subscribe. Subscribe.
True, man. Of course, if you made it this far in the show, I think it's because you did like this episode. So like David said, I'm going to encourage you to subscribe to this podcast. And, you know, like this episode and share it with your friends. Tell them to tell their friends too about us. And like I said, my promise to you is that I'll continue getting better at what I do, get better guests, get better questions, ask better questions, more insightful, more thought-provoking. And yeah, man, that's all I have for you today. So till next time, do take care. Kwaheri.